Hello everyone, I'm Captain Logan.
Hello, Vince.
And it's time once again
To recommend stuff.
Vince,
Yes.
what stuff do you recommend today, sir?
Today I'm recommending a set of DVDs. That's right, not just any set of DVDs, a DVD set that I had to go to the interwebs to find because I could not find it in a store. I didn't realize they made it until I thought one day, you know what, this was a significant thing from my childhood. I wonder if I did a little Google search if I could find something. So I found it. I think I found it on Amazon at this point. I forget. But it is the complete Paddington Bear. That's right.
Oh, our lighting is kind of...
It is the
now you can
complete Paddington Bear.
Yeah, teamwork.
So this is the collection of the stop motion stuff that they did. So it's like half animated, half stop motion. And Paddington Bear himself is stop motion. But the people that he interacts with are all animated on these sheets of paper that move in the frame, and I find it really interesting the way they animate this. And I also find it incredibly adorable. I think that the design of this bear is just endearing by himself, and how they make his little bear face move and show expression. He's extremely cute. And, of course, it's based on the children's books. I never read the children's books. I didn't know they were children's books when I was a kid.
Vince didn't know how to read until just recently.
I just figured this out, like, last year. Man, it made being an English major difficult.
Yeah, I remember that.
Luckily, English is both a spoken and written language.
I remember thinking that English wasn't your first language.
That's right.
When we were, yeah.
My first language is Klingon, but don't ask me to recite any because I'll refuse. So,
oh, okay.
So Paddington Bear, I thought I would recommend this. I'm not sure if I've ever recommended this before, but I'm recommending it now because the movie just came out. And I saw the movie. I liked the movie.
Oh, was it good?
I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty clever.
I didn't realize that was out yet. We talked about that a little bit on the radio show and that you were interested in seeing it. But
it came out, I think, either last week or the week before. And I thought it was pretty clever. I thought it was pretty funny. I thought that it was pretty cute, and it had a fairly standard story. But, you know, it's a children's movie. It
didn't stay with that crude humor that you were kind of worried about from the trailer.
Yeah, I was a little worried that they were going to do a bunch of gross stuff, but that was just a momentary thing.
Oh, okay, good.
And it was there was another moment where they called back to it, but it wasn't awful. It was more awful in concept than it was in appearance. So I'm recommending this because this, I think, is true Paddington Bear. I think this is, well, true Paddington Bear is the books, but this is the good television stuff. Now, if you get this set from Cookie Jar, I don't know if that's the whatever company, Jaru, Cookie Jar, Mill Creek, I don't care. They put this stuff out, and they also included with it 15 episodes from The Wombles, which is awful, and Huxley Pig, which is also awful.
And no one's probably ever heard of. I've never heard of those things.
They are so unflinchingly hard to watch. Like, you know what? I feel like if you're going to show something to your kid, you don't want to just show them something that's only entertaining to them, and you have to pull your own teeth out to, you know, suggested this. I'm not trying to show what I'm saying here. I'm not trying to show what I'm saying here. I'm not sure. Your face.
Are you done yet?
I have been drinking all day,
no,
sir.
You haven't.
One of my favorite jokes to when I go to this particular patient's house, and by God, I hope he doesn't call the office about this joke, because it's just a joke. I'll walk in and I'll flub up my words that I'm trying to say to him, and I'll say, I've been drinking all day. It's at the end of my day. And he'll say, oh, have you? I said, coffee. I get jittery. So I forget what I was even saying. I'm recommending this because these stop-motion things are great. The cartoon series is not very good. The stop-motion animation is very good. So I think the lessons you can learn through it are valuable for children, sure. But it's also very clever, cute, fun stuff. So it's not breaking the mold, but it's a lot of fun. So check it out for those of you who are interested in some children's televising.
Well, speaking of things that are fun and not breaking the mold, Vince, today I'm going to recommend an old Super Nintendo game that I used to play a lot when I was a kid, and I never owned this. It was one that we rented a lot, and I finally broke down and got it. You remember a few weeks ago, Vince, when we did our GNN playing various old video games, and we played the Genesis Power Rangers fighting game? You picked that, and then you're like, oh, wait, it's a fighting game? And then we played it. Well, I mentioned in that video the better of the two fighting games, and it's this one. This is the Power Rangers Fighting Edition, and this came out. This was only on Super Nintendo, and this came out. I want to say during third season, just based on the Megazords that are in it. This was exclusively a Megazord fighter, which I thought at the time was really interesting. That you can't play as the Power Rangers. It's just a Megazord fighter, and monsters. But of course, always giant monsters, unless there's tiny Megazords. But you can tell with the backgrounds that they're very large. But anyway, I always thought that the courses, the courses. It's not Mario Kart. The arenas in this were pretty cool. You get to one of the places that pops up the most, of course, is at first I always thought was the command center. And I actually had never really thought about it until I got it and played it again with Jason. By the way, Jason's pretty decent at this. I
beat you a couple times.
Yeah, he actually did. He beat me a couple times. The first time Jason ever beat me at anything was this game. Jason's almost 5 now. For anybody that doesn't know and is still learning how to play video games. And anyway, so. I never thought about this before. That area is not the command center. It's, I guess, supposed to be the big, like, cargo bay where they keep the Megazords, because it's this big, giant, open, like, flat, metallic looking place, and there is a view screen in the background with Zordon, like, talking to you. But it's not actually Zordon's tube, it's a screen with his tube. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. They conceived of a place that's always talked about, but we like never go to. So that was kind of neat that they did that. But anyway, Lord Zed and Goldar are both playable characters, so you can actually, get this game and make this happen. So that's kind of cool.
Walk into each other and separate.
It was a little surreal. Jason and I were playing that, and Jason looks over and points, and he goes, "Hey, Dad, those two figures that just happen to be standing over there, we're like making that fight happen right now." But when I was a kid, just getting to play as Lord Zed as a playable character was like a really big deal, because Lord Zed was always one of my favorite villains and my favorite thing in that show. And he's got some neat moves. He has like a move where he like spins his staff in front of him, and he is a lot more dynamic than he ever is in the show, really. Because like the Power Rangers do lots of fun, like jumping and flipping and stuff, but Lord Zed never did that.
He did lots of cool standing and looking at things.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pointing.
But it's got one thing that's kind of neat is that it's one of those games that has. Let me grab this for me. It's one of those games that has a lot of variation in the different characters. So you pick characters just kind of depending on what their strengths are, but they also kind of have weaknesses. So like the Shogun Megazord moves like obnoxiously slow. I mean, it's like molasses slow, but if you get any hits in, it takes like 3, to beat your opponent, because it's so powerful. And then you get like the Ninja Megazord, which is super fast, but takes like a really long time to get anything done because it's not as powerful. So it's not as far as fighting games go, it's kind of a button masher. It's not one of those where you have to memorize a whole lot of rule sets, which is probably why Jason was decent at it. But there's not a whole lot of like move sets that you have to know. And that kind of thing, and it's somewhat limited in that department, but it's pretty fast paced unless you're playing as the Shogun Megazord. And I just always liked how like super colorful and dynamic and kind of vibrant it was. So no, it holds up okay. Going back to it, playing it again, it's fun. If memory serves, when you play one-player mode and you go through everything, the final boss, which I remember being really hard, was Ivan Ooze from the movie. And there may be a way to there may be some kind of like cheat code to make Ivan Ooze playable. I don't know. I never found it when I was a kid.
Look it up.
Those things weren't as readily available. I could have done that, but I didn't.
That's why I'm tasking them with it.
But anyway, so I guess that's about all I have to say about it. But it's fun to go back to this again finally, and it's something that I kind of every now and again would be like, oh yeah, I should totally go back and get that, and I just never did. Anyway, so Jason and I have been playing that. Well, anyway, everybody, thanks a bunch for watching. We sure appreciate it, and we will recommend something for you once again next week. I am Captain Logan,
and I am Vince,
and we'll see you later.